Welcome back. In this video, we're going to look at how we can select colors directly in our application. Okay, so this will be what we need to implement. We can draw over items and so forth. So let's get started implementing that into our application. And therefore, inside of my drawing view, I'm going to create a new function. So I'm going to go to a spot where I want to put it, and I'm going to put it just at the very bottom. And here I want to have a function which will allow me to set the color. So fun set color, which will require a new color that we put in, and it will be of type string. So we pass this parameter new color, and we're going to overwrite the color that we have here at the very top, which is this global variable here, private var color, that we had created, and we assigned color black to it. We're going to take that and we're going to get the color from the string. So the thing is, if you look at any of given color, this here is a string. Okay, so hashtag FF0000 will be a string. Okay, so it's not surrounded by quotations, but it's treated like a string. So when we get that value, we can now parse that value into a color. So there is this thing you can see here, color string of type string. So we can actually parse a string into a color. So that's pretty cool, right? And that's what Android Studio offers us, or Android development offers us. And now we just need to change the draw paint color to be the color that we just created. So this draw paint, you might recall, the paint class holds the style and color information about how to draw geometries, text, and bitmaps. So we're using that in order to now draw onto the screen with the color that we have. Now inside of our main activity, we will need to create another method that will take care of actually clicking on the paints. Okay, so on any of the given colors here, because now we have a function in drawing view which allows us to set the color, but we also need to call this method, and we're going to call it inside of this method here that we're going to create inside of the main activity. So I'm going to call this one paint clicked, and it will get a view because I want to assign that to all of my buttons as an on-click event. Okay, so first of all, what we can do is we can start with a toast here. So make text this clicked paint and length long. So here toast.length long and show. Okay, so let's just test this by assigning it to our image button here. So I'm going to assign it, and on the on click position, paint clicked, like so. Okay, now the same thing goes for this other button, on click and paint clicked. So basically we will require that for all of our image buttons. So let me add that in here for each of those buttons. So on click, paint clicked, on click, paint clicked, and the last button doesn't need that. Okay, so here now paint click will be used. Let's test this real quick and see if we can click on the color, and you see here clicked paint. That's great. So now instead of showing the toast, and we tested that it works, right? You can of course test it for all buttons just to see if that works. So the first thing I need to check is if my image button current paint here is not the view that I'm clicking on. So only if it is a different view that I'm clicking on, and another button, another image button, then I want to change the color. Otherwise I don't need to do anything, right? So I'm saying if the view is not equal, and double equal here, image button current paint. So if that's the case, and only if that's the case, I want to add some code. So what is it that I need to add here? Well, first of all, I need to have an image button, which will be the view as an image button. So I'm taking this view, which is the thing that we are clicking on, and it could be a text view, a button, an image view, and so forth. But in our particular case, we're making sure that only our image buttons have this paint clicked method assigned to it. Okay, we have used this approach before with the on-click event, right? And what we're just saying is, okay, the view is always going to be an image button. So let's convert that into an image button and store that inside of this variable. And then I need the color tag from that image button. So I'm going to call this variable color tag, and I can get that from my image button dot tag property, and I need to make a string out of it. So you might recall that we created this tag for every single image button, and now I want to read that tag, and here this is just the location where the tag is actually at. It's actually this string here, or this value here. So we are reading this tag color, which is just a string, and we're assigning it to the color tag variable that we created here. And now we can just go ahead and call the setColor method that we just created and pass the color tag to it. All right. And of course, we also need to make sure that the image is set accordingly. So the image that is now selected here, this palette pressed, will be executed. So we can actually just take this whole part here, copy that, and put it here with a couple of changes. So now it's not going to be the current paint where we assign that, but we're going to assign that to our image button that we currently are working with. So now we are assigning the palette pressed to it. And then to the one that we had pressed before, so the M button or image button current paint that we had assigned before, we also need to set its drawable. But because this is a nullable, we need to add the question mark, and we can just do the same thing. So let's copy that part here, and then just not use palette pressed, but palette normal. So what we're saying is the button that we just pressed on should now become the pressed button. So use this drawable that says palette pressed, and the one that is unselected should be set to palette normal. Now, of course, we need to also store that we made this shift, right? So now our M image button current paint needs to be overwritten with the view that we are getting, which means with the image button that we currently pressed on, so that this will work the next time again, because otherwise the button would, by step, once we click on them, each of them would be ending up pressed. So what we're doing here is we are setting the current button that we clicked on to be pressed. We are deactivating or making the old button that we had unpressed, and we are making sure that this property, which will just hold the current button that we clicked on, be ready so that the next time we do this execution, will still do the trick and will allow us to make this run. So let's check it out. Let's see if the paint clicked will be executed, and we can see that it actually is being executed. So all of those beautiful colors are working flawlessly. So now a little challenge for you. Please go ahead and add a white color here as a final option, or as another option here on the right hand side, and then make it clickable. And accordingly, well, you won't need to make it clickable because our code works perfectly already. So you can basically just copy the other image buttons and then just use it to basically draw white paint on top of what we have here. So it's not going to erase the other paint, but it's going to be like somebody drew, for example, graffiti on the wall, and you need to paint over it with white color. So that's what would happen here. Okay, so I hope you paused the video and you tried it. So in our activity main, I'm just going to add another image button here, and I'm going to use the color white here. And here I'm going to use white as well. And then I just need to create this color white inside of my colors. So let's jump over to colors. Let's create another color. Let's call this one white. And white will just be a bunch of Fs, 6 Fs here. Will do the trick. You see, we have white now. And then this arrow disappears. That's great. And that should pretty much be it. So let's check it out. If we can now have this additional color, you see we have this additional color here. Let me draw something, And now let me use white and draw over it. So you can see it's as simple as that. That's how easily you can add new colors to it. And now, by the way, let's say you wanted to add a color picker to your application. I would recommend to follow this tutorial. All right. So Geeks for Geeks, how to create a color picker tool in Android using color wheel and slider. So it's going to really allow you to basically just select the color, see the hex code and all of the good stuff, and then import it into your application, where you would then use this color that you're getting from there. You just need to get the string color and then use it in the format that we have used in our application. So basically just assign it at the point where you set the color. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I hope you enjoyed this video. In the next one, we're going to add the background image to our application so that we can try to draw on top of it, because we're going to be such amazing drawers. All right, so see you there.